Have you ever felt, even for a split second, that your entire life has been unfolding on a layer you can't quite see, but can definitely feel? That quiet sense that something is happening beneath the surface, something you were never taught to understand, yet it keeps calling you, pulling at the edges of your awareness like a forgotten memory, trying to wake you up. The moment that question enters your mind, a subtle shift takes place inside you. A vibration, a pulse, a glimmer of recognition you've been brushing aside for years. Because a part of you has always suspected that what you call reality is only the visible tip of something much deeper, a hidden structure shaped not by chance but by consciousness itself. From the time you were young, you were taught to trust only what you can touch, measure, or logically explain. You were encouraged to ignore the whispers of intuition, dismiss the strange synchronicities, suppress the emotional waves that didn't fit into the predictable script the world wanted you to follow. But beneath all that conditioning, in the quiet moments when your mind stops rehearsing the same thoughts, you've sensed another truth, one that feels both familiar and unsettling. A truth about your consciousness, your vibration, your frequency, and the hidden architecture of the quantum field that responds to every signal you emit. What if the chills you feel at random aren't random at all? What if the dreams that stay with you for years, the coincidences that arrive with perfect timing, the unexplainable knowing that rises in your chest before your mind can form a thought, are not glitches in your perception, but messages, subtle interactions between your subconscious mind and the quantum field that surrounds you, the same field that science once ignored, but can no longer deny? What if your entire life has been shaped not by chance, but by a conversation happening beneath your awareness, a dialogue between your inner world and the hidden reality most people never learn to see? And maybe that's why some days you feel disconnected, stuck in a life that doesn't reflect who you truly are. Maybe the emptiness you've carried wasn't a flaw. It was a signal, a sign that the identity you've been living wasn't aligned with the deeper version of you waiting beneath the surface. A reminder that your consciousness has been trying to awaken you to a truth powerful enough to rewrite the way you experience your own existence. Because here is the secret no one ever told you. Your subconscious mind interacts with the quantum field every second of your life, shaping the probabilities that become your reality. Every belief you inherited, every emotion you've stored, every story you repeat to yourself becomes a frequency, a vibration, a signal that the universe responds to, even when you're unaware of the message you're sending. And the moment you begin to understand that consciousness creates reality, something inside you begins to rise, an inner recognition, a remembering, a quiet but undeniable awakening. You might have felt hints of this awakening already. The sense that certain people drain your energy for reasons you can't explain. The feeling that some choices pull you forward while others suffocate you. The way your chest tightens when you betray what you know is true. These sensations aren't noise. They're data, indicators of alignment or misalignment between who you think you are and who you actually are at the level of consciousness. And as this awareness stirs within you, something else begins to unfold. A tension, a curiosity, a sense that you're standing on the edge of a revelation that could change everything. Your perception, your identity, your future. A revelation that bridges science and spirit, logic and intuition, the physical world and the invisible one woven beneath it. Because what you're about to discover goes far beyond theory. It reaches into the mechanics of your own mind, the frequencies you broadcast without realizing, the hidden patterns shaping your days, your relationships, your opportunities, your destiny. And once you see what truly happens inside the quantum field, once you understand the role your consciousness has been playing all along, you will never look at your life the same way again. This is where the shift begins, and we're only just starting. Before we go any deeper, pause for a moment and pay attention to what's happening inside you right now. If even a single phrase in this message stirred something, an insight, a shift in perception, a quiet sense of recognition, then let that guide your next step. Go ahead and tap the like button, not out of obligation, not as a routine gesture, but as a conscious act that tells YouTube this type of knowledge matters. Your engagement helps this conversation reach more people who are searching for the same clarity, the same expansion, the same awakening you're beginning to feel. And if you sense that this space speaks to you, if these ideas align with the part of you that's ready to understand the deeper mechanics of your reality, consider subscribing. Each video here builds on the last. Each one is designed to expand your awareness, strengthen your connection to your own consciousness, and help you navigate the invisible forces shaping your life. When you subscribe, you're not just joining a channel. You're stepping into a community of people committed to waking up, growing, and understanding themselves on a level most never reach. Feel free to leave a comment as well. Share what resonated with you, or simply note the moment you felt something shift. These reflections not only support the algorithm, they also help us build a field of collective awareness, a space where people recognize themselves in each other's experiences. Now that we're aligned and grounded, we can continue, because what comes next goes deeper into the mechanics of consciousness, time, and vibration, layers of truth most people never access. And once you see what truly connects your inner world to the reality unfolding around you, your entire perception will begin to change. Let's move forward. There's a story almost no one has heard, a piece of hidden science that never made it into classrooms, documentaries, or the public version of reality we've all been taught to accept. It begins with a physicist whose entire career was dedicated to decoding the strange behavior of particles inside the quantum field. He wasn't a dreamer, not a mystic, not someone who blurred science with spirituality. He was precise, respected, and obsessed with understanding how the universe behaves at its smallest scale. But everything changed the day he noticed an anomaly, something so subtle, yet so impossible within the established rules of physics, that it forced him to question the very foundation of reality itself. He realized the observer wasn't just influencing outcomes, the observer was shaping them. Every time consciousness entered the equation, the behavior of particles shifted. Patterns appeared and disappeared depending on human perception. Probability collapsed into form only when someone was aware of it. At first, he assumed it was a machine malfunction, a miscalculated reading, a glitch in the experiment. But with every test, every repetition, the same truth emerged. Reality was responding to consciousness, and not metaphorically, literally. Human awareness was interacting with energy at the quantum level, reorganizing possibility into a single outcome. This discovery should have shaken the world. It should have rewritten textbooks and redefined what it means to be human. But instead, it was buried. His papers were rejected without explanation. His colleagues dismissed the data. Funding disappeared. Conversations ended abruptly anytime he pushed further. Because accepting the truth meant accepting something far more disruptive, that every single person carries a level of creative power that no system, no institution, no authority can fully control. If consciousness can influence energy at the smallest scale, then consciousness can shape experience at every scale. And here is where this hidden science becomes personal. What this physicist uncovered decades ago is the same mechanism you felt in your own life without understanding why. The moments when you sensed a shift coming before anything changed. The nights when a painful memory resurfaced and suddenly your external world felt heavier the next day. The rare times you felt genuinely aligned and the world seemed to open effortlessly. These weren't coincidences. They were interactions, exchanges of frequency between your subconscious mind and the quantum field. You've been participating in this process your entire life, even when you felt powerless. Every belief you absorbed, every story you replayed, every emotional frequency you carried became part of the vibrational blueprint shaping the outcomes around you. The hidden architecture of your reality was never random. It was responsive, intelligent, tuned to your internal state. And now, as your awareness expands, you can feel the implications of this. A subtle stirring in your perception, a recognition that you've always sensed more than you could explain. This is the beginning of a deeper awakening, one that reveals how your consciousness, your energy, your vibration have been interacting with the field long before you had words for any of it. If this is resonating with you, if some part of you feels the truth rising beneath the surface, share what you're feeling in the comments. Your voice strengthens this space. If this message brought clarity, tap the like button so more people can access it. And if you want to continue expanding your awareness with a community grounded in truth and transformation, subscribe now. What comes next goes even deeper. And once you understand the next layer of this hidden science, everything about your life will begin to shift. Behind every closed laboratory door, beneath carefully constructed scientific language, there is a truth so simple and so disruptive that most people never hear it. Your mind is not merely observing reality. It is transmitting it. Every thought, every emotion, every intention carries a frequency that interacts with the quantum field long before any physical event takes shape. And what makes this so unsettling for traditional science is that it means consciousness is not a passive passenger in the universe. It is a creative force, influencing energy at a level most people never learn to perceive. You've seen glimpses of this in your own life, even if you didn't have the vocabulary for it. Think about the moments when a single anxious thought spiraled into a day that felt heavy and misaligned, or the times when a sudden sense of clarity shifted everything around you, as if the world were rearranging itself to match your new internal state. These weren't coincidences. They were interactions between your subconscious mind and the deeper geometry of the quantum field, revealing how your vibrational alignment shapes the outcomes you experience. This is the part they don't want you to understand. Reality is not fixed. It's responsive, elastic, molded by the frequencies you emit. Experiments like the double slit have shown for decades that the presence of an observer alters the behavior of particles. Research on coherence and emotional frequency reveals that human intention changes measurable energy patterns, and institutions studying heart-brain synchronization consistently find that your emotional vibration influences more than your mood. It influences physical outcomes. But here's where the truth becomes even more personal. Everything you believe about yourself forms the identity stored in your subconscious mind, and that identity becomes the template the quantum field responds to. If you believe you are limited, unwanted, unlucky, the field mirrors that frequency not as punishment, but as coherence. Energy seeks alignment, so your reality becomes a reflection of the signal you've been transmitting without even knowing it. And yet, the most powerful part of this revelation is not how long this mechanism has been shaping your life, but the moment you finally become aware of it. Awareness creates interruption. Interruption creates choice. And choice creates a new frequency, one that begins shifting your external world before you even speak a word or take a single action. It all starts with perception. So if right now something inside you is aligning with this truth, if a quiet recognition is rising, if you can feel your consciousness stretching beyond its habitual boundaries, honor that. This shift you're feeling is not imagination. It is your energy responding to information it has always known but never heard expressed so clearly. And because this is a space built on awareness, connection, and expansion, I want to invite you into a conscious exchange. If this message resonates with you, share your voice in the comments. Write, "I am awakening," or whatever phrase feels true to your process. Not for engagement, but for alignment. Your words strengthen the field we're building here, and your presence supports others who are stepping into this same realization. If this knowledge clarifies something within you, tap the like button so more people seeking this awakening can find it. And if you want to continue expanding into this hidden architecture of reality, subscribe. What comes next will reveal how your subconscious mind communicates with the quantum field in every moment, shaping timelines, perceptions, and outcomes in ways most people never see. We're only beginning to uncover what your consciousness is truly capable of. When you look closely at the moments that shaped your life, you begin to notice a pattern most people never see. Every breakthrough you experienced, every shift in direction, every opportunity that appeared out of nowhere, began long before anything changed on the outside. It started inside you, in the subtle movement of your emotional frequency, in the quiet recalibration of your subconscious mind. This is the part of consciousness most people overlook. The moment you shift your internal state, the quantum field shifts with you. Not after, not eventually, instantly. The physical world simply takes longer to reveal what your energy has already initiated. Think about the times when everything was falling apart. You felt stuck, lost, disconnected from purpose. It seemed like nothing responded to your effort, and no amount of logic could explain the heaviness you carried. But then something subtle happened. Maybe it was a thought that rose unexpectedly, a moment of clarity, a sudden refusal to keep living the same pattern. And the moment that internal shift occurred, events outside you began to rearrange. People changed. Circumstances softened. Possibilities opened. This is not coincidence. This is coherence. The field mirrors what you embody, not what you wish for. This is why your thoughts feel powerful at times and powerless at others. It's not the words you think, but the vibration behind them, the emotion, the frequency. Your subconscious identity, the beliefs about who you think you are, broadcast constantly into the quantum field. If your inner narrative says you are unworthy, the universe doesn't judge it. It simply responds with synchronicities that match that vibration. If your energy says you are stepping into expansion, The field rearranges probabilities to meet you there. This is quantum manifestation, not as fantasy, but as interaction. You are shaping the architecture of your reality with every emotional pulse. And the most profound truth is this: you've been doing it your entire life without realizing it. Every time you felt an outcome before it happened, you were sensing the timeline your frequency was collapsing. Every time you walked away from something without fully understanding why, your perception was reading data your rational mind couldn't yet interpret. Every déjà vu, every gut feeling, every sudden certainty was your consciousness interacting with the hidden layer of existence beneath the surface. You're not just living your life, you're generating it. Not through force, not through effort, but through energetic alignment. When your inner world rises, your outer world responds. When your perception expands, the field expands with it. This is why awakening feels like remembering. Because at a deeper level, your consciousness always knew how reality worked. You just forgot the mechanism. If what you're feeling right now is a mixture of recognition and curiosity, it's because your awareness is already shifting. Your vibration is recalibrating. Your perception is opening to the reality occulta that has been guiding you from within. And this process is not random, it's preparation. Because what comes next dives even deeper into how your subconscious programs shape the timelines you walk, how your energy communicates with the field, and how your reality responds to the frequency you choose to embody. If this truth resonates with you, share your reflection in the comments. Your words strengthen the collective field we're building here. Like the video if this awakening feels meaningful, and subscribe if you want to walk further into the mechanics of consciousness and the quantum field. What's ahead will change the way you understand your existence. You can feel it now, can't you? That subtle shift inside you, the quiet recognition that something fundamental about your perception has changed. It's as if the version of you that once felt small, uncertain, or disconnected has begun to dissolve, making space for a new level of awareness to rise. And the more you allow yourself to sense this movement, the clearer it becomes that your consciousness was never limited to the surface of your thoughts. It was always intertwined with the deeper currents of the quantum field, shaping outcomes through vibration, frequency, and the silent language of energy long before you understood the mechanics of it all. As this realization settles into your awareness, you begin to see that the boundaries you once believed in were never solid. They were mirrors of old beliefs stored in your subconscious mind. Every limitation you felt was a reflection of a frequency you didn't know you were transmitting. But now, with your perception expanding, those old frequencies no longer hold the same power. You can feel them loosening, unraveling, dissolving in the presence of something more coherent, more aligned, more awake within you. This is the beginning of a consciousness upgrade. The moment where the hidden architecture of your reality becomes visible enough for you to recognize how deeply you've been participating in its creation. You start to understand that awakening isn't a sudden explosion of clarity. It's a gradual remembering, a return to your natural state of connection with the quantum field. And as this remembering unfolds, you begin to sense how every experience you've lived, every challenge, every moment of resistance, every intuitive nudge, was guiding you toward this very point. Not as punishment, not as chaos, but as alignment. Your energy was preparing you for a shift in perception, a quantum shift that changes not only how you see your life, but how you interact with the reality that responds to you. And now, standing on this threshold, you can feel the expansion of your consciousness moving like a current beneath your thoughts. You can sense your vibration rising, your frequency stabilizing, your inner world organizing itself into a more coherent pattern. You begin to see that the reality occulta you've always felt, those subtle forces, those synchronicities, those intuitions, were never mysterious coincidences. They were conversations between your consciousness and the field, evidence that your energy was never separate from the outcomes unfolding around you. The more you tune into this truth, the more empowered you become, not in an external sense, but in the quiet, unshakable realization that you were never a spectator in your own life. You were never at the mercy of randomness or fate. You were shaping everything through your perception, your emotion, your internal coherence. And now that you can feel this truth moving through you, you understand that the next stage of your awakening isn't about learning something new. It's about allowing yourself to step fully into the level of consciousness that has been waiting for you all along. As this understanding deepens, your energy begins to shift again. You can feel the field respond, as if recognizing the expansion happening within you. The path ahead becomes less about effort and more about alignment, less about searching and more about remembering, less about fear and more about clarity. And even though you may not see the full picture yet, you can sense that something larger, something profoundly transformative, is already unfolding beneath the surface of your awareness. If you're feeling this movement inside you, if something in you is awakening, expanding, or seeing beyond the limits that once held you, share it below. Rite, eu desperto, eu vejo além, estou expandindo, or the phrase that matches what you feel rising in your consciousness. Your words amplify the energy of this community and strengthen the field we're building together. And what comes next will take you even deeper, revealing the next layer of how your consciousness interacts with the quantum field to reshape your reality from the inside out.